Hi all, in this tutorial series you will learn how to add some interactivity to your BIM model. Tutorial is divided into three parts. In this first part we will add sledgehammer to the third person character. This tutorial is easy to follow and you can use your existing project or start a new Unreal Engine project by using Game's third person template. I will use project where I have imported my BIM model. If you want to learn how to bring your BIM model to Unreal Engine, you should check my other video. I have added a link to the description. Okay, let's get started. Like you probably know, every Unreal project needs some 3D assets. We need to get a 3D asset for our sledgehammer. And Sketchfab is a good place to get some. Go to sketchfab.com and just start searching. In our case, we are interested about sledgehammer, so write sledgehammer and also click that I only want to see downloadable assets. There's so much assets available here. I try to find some good one. This looks great. And after that, just click download 3D model. I will be using FBX version. Just click download and extract your zip file. When you have extracted the files, you should have these two folders available. At source directory is the FBX and in texture directory there are material textures. Before importing the FBX, let's create a new folder at content browser. Let's name it as my stuff. Okay, maybe it's PU. And then let's create a new folder and name it as props. Now we have a good place to our FBX. Then just drag and drop the file to the content browser and next FBX import options opens. Change the scale mode slightly. You need to scale it down because the source file is quite huge. And after that, just click import all. Now we have the sledgehammer in our content browser and we can drag it and add it to our level. Materials are not yet correct, so we need to set up the textures. So let's create a new folder and name it as a materials and drag and drop our sledge one material and move it there. And we can also rename this one sm_sledge static mesh. And then go to the materials folder and browse to the textures folder, select all the texture files and just drag and drop them to the materials folder. We can also rename our material as a underscore. M stands for material. So it's good to keep things organized and name them correctly. So let's double click our material, master material and drag it to the main view. This is material graph And right now there's only color. We don't need this color, so we can delete it. You can zoom here. With left mouse you can drag things around, and control space you can open the content browser and dock it to your view. Then we need to add these textures to our material graph just by drag and dropping and then to the graph area. Metallic, roughness. I will need to make some room, normal map, ambient map. And now, next thing, we need to connect these pins to correct slots. This is how you create new master materials in Unreal Engine. This way we are building up our master material for our sledgehammer, just by connecting pins to correct slots. And after that, save and close the master material. And it's right away visible to our 3D asset. Just create a new material instance for this one and name it as a mi_sledge. It's good practice to always use material instances. After that, select the material instance from the content browser and then use selected asset from content browser and set it to the 3D asset. So now it's using the correct material instance. It looks very good. Next thing we have to do, we have to connect these two guys together, hammer and the character. First make a copy of an existing third person character blueprint and use that one as a starting point for building our own character. This will be my new BIM guy, superhero, with the sledgehammer in his hand. And I want to keep things organized, so I will move this to my stuff folder. And then double click to open the blueprint. Let's move to viewport tab page. And this is the place where we can modify how our player character looks like and what kind of props is included to blueprint. Camera speed could be slightly slower and it will be easier to navigate in the viewport. First I want to add a new static mesh under my skeleton mesh. So first select the skeleton mesh and then add new static mesh and rename it to sledgehammer. From the details panel, I will search my sledge sm_sledge, so I will attach my hammer to this view. Yes, now we have it here. First thing to do is to glue these two things together. So I select my sledgehammer and then I will go detail sockets and I want to find a correct bone here. Not head, not leg. I should find the right hand socket here, where it is. Here, hand _R. And now we can see that maybe it's too big. We need to scale it down a bit. So select, okay, first I will disable my animation. So I will select mesh skeleton and then I will go to animation and I want to pause my animes to idle animation. So now it stays. Now it's much more easier to start scaling and moving my sledgehammer. So first scale it a little bit, put the lock on, so when you start scaling, all directions are scaled same time. So a little bit smaller. I think now it's quite okay. Before start moving, I remove my snap, put my snap off, and I make sure that I'm working in a local coordinate system. So when I'm moving in local coordinate. It can't be changed from there. Then I rotate, activate rotate tool. Yes, now it's good in good angle. And then I change to transform tool and start fine tuning the location. I try to put it in the middle of my hand and slightly have to move it. Yes. Is it good now? Okay, maybe a little bit more. Yes, and maybe slightly up. Okay, now it's getting better. I think I still have to scale it down a little bit, but this time I want to only scale the one direction. So scaling tool, and with the handle I just change this one direction scale and back to transform. Slightly move it. Yes, I think it's quite good now. I think our sledgehammer BIM queen is now born. Let's set the skeleton animation back to action and see how it looks like in idle animation. Great. Compile and save, and we can close this. Before we can test out our new character, we have to set it as our game pawn class, and it will be done in world settings. So if you don't have your world settings open, you can open world settings from window menu. And then we go to world settings, select the game mode, and change the default pawn class to our new character. And that's it. Now we can try the game. Okay, looks good. Let's try to move and see what happens. Yes, the grip is great and sledgehammer stays in hand. Now we are complete this first part of our tutorial, and in next part we will start to develop the hit animation, and that will be the topic of my next tutorial video. Thanks for watching this one, and remember to subscribe to see my next video. Bye!